In Homer's The Odyssey, Calypso is a figure of both enchantment and entrapment, embodying the allure of escapism and the price of forsaking one's duty. As a divine nymph who detains Odysseus on her island for 7 years, Calypso represents one of the most pivotal and symbolic challenges on the hero's journey home. Her episode, located at the very beginning of the epic's narrative timeline, is a powerful meditation on freedom, mortality, identity, and the enduring human drive to return home, even from paradise. Role in the narrative: Calypso lives on the idyllic island of Ogygia, a place of natural beauty and abundance, untouched by the world's struggles. When Odysseus is shipwrecked and washes ashore, she takes him in and offers him comfort, shelter, and love. The poem opens in medias res, with Odysseus already in Calypso's captivity, longing for home. We meet him not in action, but in sorrow, sitting by the sea, weeping each day for his lost home and family. Calypso genuinely loves Odysseus and desires to make him her husband. She even offers him immortality, a chance to escape death itself, if he will only remain with her. Despite her beauty, generosity, and divine nature, Odysseus refuses. Though he spends 7 years with her, he never forgets Ithaca. When the gods finally intervene, Hermes is sent to tell Calypso that she must release Odysseus. Though she protests the double standard imposed on goddesses who love mortal men, she obeys and aids Odysseus in building a raft to resume his journey. Calypso's narrative function is clear. She is the final major detour before Odysseus is allowed to resume his destined return. She is not an enemy like the Cyclops or Scylla. Instead, she is a loving captor, complicating Odysseus's return not through force, but through comfort and seduction. Her presence allows the epic to explore themes of desire versus duty, stasis versus progress, and the cost of choosing one's mortal path over divine temptation. Symbolic significance: Calypso is a symbol of temptation, specifically the temptation of forgetting one's responsibilities in exchange for a life of ease. She offers Odysseus exactly what many would dream of: a beautiful island, eternal youth, and love from a goddess. Yet Odysseus rejects this offer, not out of ingratitude, but because it would mean abandoning his identity, his past, and his purpose. In this sense, Calypso represents the danger of stagnation. Ogygia, for all its beauty, is a place where time is suspended. Odysseus remains unchanged during his stay. He neither grows, learns, nor moves forward. His weeping by the shore signifies his internal dissonance, physically safe but spiritually lost. Calypso's offer of immortality is ultimately a curse disguised as a blessing. To remain with her would be to deny his humanity, which is inextricably tied to mortality, memory, and belonging. Calypso also symbolizes the immortality versus mortality dichotomy that runs through much of Greek mythology. Unlike gods, mortals live meaningful lives precisely because they are finite. Their struggles, choices, and bonds gain weight through their impermanence. When Odysseus chooses to return home, even though Penelope is aging and Calypso is eternally youthful, he affirms the value of human connection and earthly love over divine fantasy. Calypso is also emblematic of female autonomy and power, particularly in a world dominated by male heroes and patriarchal values. Calypso does not merely seduce Odysseus. She shelters, nourishes, and rules independently over her domain. She is in her own right a sovereign being. Broader implications: Calypso's story resonates far beyond the Odyssey, touching on universal human themes: the tension between comfort and aspiration, the allure of escape versus the responsibilities of life, and the cost of making meaningful choices. Her character has inspired numerous retellings, interpretations, and adaptations across centuries of literature and art. In modern literature, Calypso is often reimagined as a more sympathetic or central character. Writers and scholars have examined her from feminist and psychological perspectives, seeing in her story the archetype of the woman left behind, the healer or nurturer whose love is ultimately unreciprocated. She represents the emotional labor of women who care for men during times of crisis, only to see them move on once they are restored. From a psychoanalytic viewpoint, Calypso's island is the realm of the unconscious, a place of withdrawal, reflection, and temptation. Odysseus's decision to leave reflects a psychological awakening, a choice to re-enter the world of action, consequence, and responsibility. At the heart of the Odyssey is the concept of nostos, the return home, and oikos, the household and familial structure that defines one's social identity. Calypso's paradise, while tempting, stands in contrast to these values. Her island is a place without community, without family, without history. Though she offers Odysseus everything externally desirable, it is a place of isolation. Odysseus's choice to leave her is a reaffirmation of his identity, not just as a warrior or king, but as a husband, father, and member of a human society. This reinforces the idea that the Odyssey is ultimately a humanistic epic. It values imperfect, mortal life over eternal stasis, connection over comfort, and movement over rest. Calypso's presence makes these choices meaningful. Her perfection renders Odysseus's yearning for home all the more poignant. Conclusion: Calypso's role in the Odyssey is more than a detour on Odysseus's journey. It is a philosophical crossroad. She represents the seductive fantasy of escape from mortality and responsibility, but also the cost of turning away from one's human path. As a symbol of temptation, divine love, and feminine power, she adds rich complexity to the epic's exploration of identity, duty, and longing. Though Odysseus leaves her behind, the questions she raises about the nature of fulfillment and the meaning of home continue to echo through the ages.